In this world, everyone love to build their dream house and it is a big challenge for many people. The another super important challenge is to maintain that building during its lifetime without any difficulty. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Cracks are the most common problem found in all types of buildings. Of course, we all love to have a home which is structurally safe to live and free from cracks. So friends, in this video, I am going to talk about different types of cracks developed in buildings, their preventive measures and how do we rectify those cracks. So with that, let's begin. First, let's see what is crack. Crack is a complete or incomplete separation of concrete or wall surface into two or more parts produced by breaking or fracturing. So as you can see here, this is the crack on the surface. Why these cracks are occurring in buildings? These cracks are occurring due to different reasons. First one is chemical reactions in construction material, temperature and climate changes, faulty design and poor quality of materials and wrong method of construction, foundation movement and settlement of buildings, poor maintenance, cracks due to vegetation. So these are all major reasons why these cracks are occurring in buildings. Is it a serious issue? You might think it is not, but it is a serious issue when some of the cracks can be a sign of serious defect which may result into collapse of building or cause expensive repair costs. However, some cracks are very simple and easy to repair which will not cause any serious defect in buildings. There are two types of cracks. First one is structural crack and the second one is non-structural crack. How these structural cracks are happening? First one is foundation settlement, poor design and detailing, overloading of structural members, construction joints and more opening. So these are all the major 5 reasons why structural cracks are happening in the building. Whenever we construct the building, it is super important to know the details about soil, because if the soil bearing capacity is very low, there will be a chances of settlement of soil. So that leads to the settlement crack. This settlement cracks can be diagonal in shape. This is happening due to low safe bearing capacity of soil and heavy rain and flood get into the foundation. So in order to avoid this kind of settlement cracks, we need to check the soil property before construction. So due to this low safe bearing capacity or flood or rain get into the foundation, the foundation gets weaker and then it goes down inside the soil. So that is why these kind of settlement cracks are occurring in the building. This kind of structural cracks need special retrofitting techniques to prevent structure from collapsing. The structural cracks can also occur in structural members like column, beam and slab. So this is little dangerous when compared to non-structural cracks, since non-structural cracks are easily repairable and that will not cause any serious damage to the structure. Since these structural elements are the major part of carrying loads of the structure, so it is super important to rectify the structural cracks immediately. In beams, the cracks can be a flexural crack, shear cracks or corrosion cracks. Flexural cracks can happen due to poor design of the beam or insufficient reinforcement in the beam. Shear cracks can happen due to lack of shear reinforcement. So this is the shear crack and here is the flexural crack. This is in the compression side and this is in the tension side. So both sides, if the reinforcement is insufficient, then the cracks can appear in the beam, and overloading of the beam also leads to the cracks in beam. Cracks in columns can be horizontal cracks, diagonal cracks and corrosion cracks. These horizontal cracks can happen due to insufficient moment carrying capacity of the column, insufficient reinforcement and improper placement of reinforcement bar in column. So due to this kind of horizontal cracks can happen and this can lead to severe failure of the structure. So it needs to be rectified immediately. Diagonal cracks can also happen due to insufficient load carrying capacity of the column, insufficient cross section of the column and insufficient reinforcement of the column. So this also need to be rectified as soon as possible. Corrosion cracks can occur due to the corrosion of reinforcement bar, insufficient concrete cover. The corroded reinforcement can reduce the bond between concrete and the steel reinforcement bar and that may leads to crack. So that also need to be rectified. In roof slab, the cracks can be structural cracks, shrinkage cracks and corrosion cracks. Structural cracks can happen due to poor design or insufficient reinforcement provided in slabs. Shrinkage cracks can can occur due to temperature variation or exposure of the roof slab to higher temperature. This can be rectified by providing proper weatherproof coats, and the major important cause for this kind of cracks in roof slab is improper curing. So if they don't cure properly, the cracks may appear in slabs. So this kind of cracks also should be rectified immediately. All these structural cracks are very dangerous, so please rectify it immediately whenever you find it with the proper techniques referred by the engineer, so that it will not lead to any failure or damage of the structure. Non-structural cracks are masonry cracks, sill and lintel level cracks, plastic shrinkage cracks, drying shrinkage cracks, and joint cracks. Masonry cracks can appear due to foundation settlement, due to temperature variation, and due to shrinkage. You might have seen in many places people will start constructing masonry wall up to some height and then they leave it for some days. After that they again start constructing new masonry wall above the old masonry wall without cleaning the old masonry wall surface and without curing properly. So the bonding between these two walls will not be proper. It may leads to crack in the joint. Mortar should be placed properly, packed properly between two bricks so that the joint will be proper and that can reduce the cracks. To avoid masonry cracks, the brick should be soaked in water before construction for some time. We should not soak it more time because that excess water from the brick will reduce the strength of the cement mortar, and then if we don't soak it also, what happens, the bricks absorb the water from cement mortar and that reduces the strength of the masonry wall. So by soaking the bricks in water for some time will help to reduce the cracks in the masonry walls. And also next, whenever we are mixing the cement mortar, we need to mix it in some plastic sheet or metal plate so that the water from the mortar will not absorb by the ground. And also we need to provide the proper cement mortar. Usually we provide 1:4. In that, if more sand in the mortar, then there will not be bonding properly. So we have to provide the proper cement mortar to reduce the crack. Also, we need to make sure that the surface should be clean before starting the construction of the brickwork. Sill level and lintel level crack. So we have 3 levels in buildings. One is sill level, second one is lintel level, and third one is roof level. So below window we call it as sill level, and above window we call it as lintel level, and the slab level we call it as roof level. These cracks can occur due to weather conditions like rain and heat. The wooden frames where we place the window get shrink and expand due to temperature effects. So this can be avoided by providing sill level beam and lintel level beam. Sill level crack near the window. Plastic shrinkage and drying shrinkage crack. So plastic shrinkage can be caused by rapid loss of water from the surface of concrete before it has set, and drying shrinkage is happening after hardening of the concrete surface or masonry surface. So remedy for this is proper curing with equal interval and proper plastering on top of the member. So proper plastering and proper curing should be provided in order to avoid these kind of plastic and drying shrinkage cracks. Next one is air crack or joint crack. So this can happen between wall and column joint and the wall or slab joint. So in that case, the joint is not properly plastered or not bonded properly, then the cracks may appear like this. In order to avoid this kind of joint or air cracks, we need to chip the surface of the column, and then we need to construct the masonry wall, and also we can provide a chicken wire mesh like this, and then we can plaster it so that the cracks can be avoided in this column and masonry joint. Similarly, while doing plastering also we can use this kind of chicken wire mesh in order to avoid these kind of cracks. And also whenever we are breaking the wall to lay the plumbing line and electrical line inside the masonry wall, so in that case also we can use chicken mesh while doing plastering these kind of areas. So if we provide chicken mesh and then do plastering, means the cracks can be avoided. And next, poor maintenance is also one of the major reason to get non-structural crack. Till now we have discussed about how the cracks are occurring in building and how do we prevent it. Now let's see how we rectify the cracks if it occurs in the building. So what we need to do, we need to clean the crack surface properly. First we need to drill the crack at least 0.5 inch depth inside the crack, and then we need to remove the plastering 1 inch in either side of the cracks, and then we need to clean that surface properly, and we need to cure that surface with water and leave it for 10 hours. This is very important. If if we don't cure it properly, then whatever the bonding material we use to fill the crack, that will not be proper. So we need to cure that surface and with water and then leave it for 10 hours. So after 10 hours only we need to apply mortar with some chemical, whatever the crack filling materials are available, so that we need to apply after curing. This is very important. See, after that if we can fill the cracks with the filling material. There are many crack filling materials are available in the market, which are non-shrink grouts, epoxy resin, epoxy mortar, quick setting cement mortar, Asian Paints crack seal, Dr. Fix-It. These are all the best materials, so you can use any one of these material to fill the non-structural cracks. So it is very important, these materials are only used for filling non-structural cracks. So structural cracks has to be rectified with proper retrofitting methods referred by the expert engineers. So friends, I hope you all like this video. Please do comment in the comment box if you have any queries. Your comments are always welcome, and this video was about general overview of the crack. So if you want to know any particular structural or non-structural cracks, please let me know in the comment box. I'll try to post a new video for that. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe this channel.